So there was no real reason why we chose cobalt. Ashley saw it on the periodic table and she thought it sounded cool and she liked the color. Me personally, I had no opinion, but we did like a 50-50 like flip a coin thing because I saw radon and I didn't actually like care. I just liked how it was pink on the periodic table. And so then she asked Siri pick one or two, and okay, if she picked two, then two is cobalt, you know? So, yeah, that was it. But, it was really nice to research.
Cobalt's elemental abbreviation or symbol is Co, and it was named after Cobalt or
Cobalt
in German, which means goblin or evil spirit. It was named Goblin when superstitious miners thought they were mining silver, but instead found cobalt arsenide. And they had thought that goblins stole the silver and replaced it with that new material. And for evil spirit, they had tried to smelt the cobalt arsenide, but because the fumes were toxic, it had caused illness and even death, and they decided to blame it on the evil spirit within the mineral. Cobalt's atomic number is the number 20. Cobalt's atomic number is 27, and its atomic mass is 58.933195. Just round it up. And it is in the D block element. And it is a D block element. Cobalt belongs in period. Cobalt belongs in period 4 with potassium, calcium, scandium, titanium, vanadium. Okay, I have to start over. Calcium? Cobalt belongs in period 4 with potassium, calcium, scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, nickel, copper, zinc, gallium, germanium, arsenic, selenium, bromine, and krypton. And it belongs in group 9, which are transition metals, such as rhodium, iridium, and meitnerium. And the electron configuration, I'm going to try to pronounce this, in brackets AR, and then 3D to the power of 7, and 4S to the power of 2.
Cobalt was discovered in Sweden in 1739 by George Brandt by pulling an unknown metal out of an ore, and he was trying to prove that metals can color glass blue because of the element, not bismuth as was believed. It was the first metal discovered after prehistoric times and the first metal to have a recorded discovery. It also proved that the color blue came from cobalt. Quiz question: who discovered cobalt? Where was it discovered? And when was it discovered? To answer the question, cobalt was discovered by George Brandt, what a goat, in Sweden in 1739. Cobalt mainly comes from the Democratic Republic of Congo, which produces 70% of cobalt, and most of it comes from Kolwezi. So people, not just miners, but regular families, will use pickaxes, shovels, and rebar, sometimes even just their bare hands, to dig into pits, trenches, and makeshift tunnels and extract cobalt to be refined and sold to Chinese traders. Extraction and refining is essentially the same as with copper. It's oxidized with iron in final conversion, goes into slag state, and treated in a separate electric furnace, and then recovered by reduction with carbon to copper iron cobalt alloy. With the processing of nickel refining instead, the cobalt would be recovered from solution by reduction with hydrogen under pressure. A solvent reaction is used to directly remove cobalt from solution, which results in a concentrated solution. There are many controversial topics of cobalt mining, one being making modern-day slaves. There's also human trafficking, horrible working conditions, it's very toxic, and provides dangerous air to breathe. People only earn a few dollars per day, child labor, and the list goes on. And all of this is just to power the Congo's rechargeable battery economy. Quiz question! Where is most cobalt found? Extra for the percentage and the city. Cobalt is found in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and 70% in Kolwezi. Cobalt is solid at room temperature and found in cobaltite, guterdite, and erythrite. It's silver blue in color, has a metallic surface, and cobalt 59 is a stable isotope and the only form of cobalt that comes from nature. No pure cobalt naturally exists here. Cobalt also has a melting point of 1495 degrees Celsius, a boiling point of 2870 degrees Celsius, and has a density of 8.9 grams over centimeters cubed. Quiz question. What is cobalt's melting point in state at room temperature? Its melting point is 1495 degrees Celsius and it is solid at room temperature. Cobalt has many uses, and one use is for airbags in cars. It's also a part of vitamin B12 and only in the body that way. It's essential for making red blood cells and maintaining the nervous system. It can replace manganese in some of its bodily jobs and zinc in some biochemical reactions. It's also in smartphones, computers, electric vehicles, rechargeable batteries, turbines, wind farms, hard metals, diamond tools, cemented carbides, dyes and pigments, corrosion/wear-resistant alloys, radioactive cobalt-60, used to treat cancer, irradiate food to preserve it, and cobalt chrome, commonly used in joint implant systems. Some not so fun facts about cobalt is that it's found in rocks, soil, water, people, etc. It can cause cancer if exposed to it too long, hence the people dying and blaming it on spirits. And yet, we use it to help detect cancer, or used. Typically, though, it leads to harming the eyes, skin, heart, and lungs. Exposure to cobalt dust can cause an asthma-like allergy. The severity just depends on length of exposure, how much you are exposed to, and what measures you go through to obtain the cobalt. Quiz question. What are two things, minimally, cobalt can be found in? Cobalt can be found in batteries, electronic devices, diamond tools, cobalt-60, etc. Anything else that I listed is fine. Guys, I dreamt of a cobalt pig last night, but when I woke up, I realized that it was just a pigment of my imagination. Ha 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 ha.